Counting down the 10 teams that I think can win Euros 2024. Number 10, Hungary. This is admittedly a tiny bit of a homer pick as I am part Hungarian, but this is a squad that really excites me heading into the competition. Hungary finished qualifiers unbeaten, including 2 wins over Serbia and a lot of really impressive performances in between. The Italian Marco Rossi manages the squad, which includes some really nice players, highlighted of course by Dominic Szoboszlai of Liverpool. After a strong first half, he slowed down a bit in the second half of the season for the Reds, but this might benefit him and the team as he'll be fresh and ready to go, and he'll have a more key role in the attack than he does for Liverpool. Hungary will definitely need him to be sensational. Bournemouth left back Milos Kerkez is another up-and-coming player, rumored to be on the radar of the likes of Manchester United and Chelsea. His overlapping runs will be key. Goalkeeper Peter Glaci of RB Leipzig is one of the better keepers in the Bundesliga. Defender Willi Orban, also of RB Leipzig, is a strong Bundesliga defender. Andre Schäfer of Union Berlin is also underrated. Roland Chali of Freiburg can also score goals. Adam Naj of Spezia is consistent in the midfield, and Callum Styles, who looked good this past season for Sunderland, is an up-and-coming midfielder. I like the fact that there's a good amount of current and former Bundesliga players in the squad. Obviously, the tournament taking place in Germany only helps. They'll also have a manageable group with Germany, Scotland, and Switzerland. I think they make it out of the group stage, and if things break right, it wouldn't stun me if they reach the quarterfinals. Number 9, Croatia. Their golden generation is nearly over, but there is still talent there for the country that surprisingly has never won a knockout round game at the Euros, especially considering the recent success they've had at the World Cup. They struggled a bit in the qualifying stage, going 5-1-2, and they're in the group of death with Spain and Italy and poor Albania, but I think some noise can still be made. Luka Modric is now 38 years old, but on his day, he could still be a massive difference maker. Excluding playoffs, his 66 open play shot ending sequences are the 4th most during qualifying, behind only Bruno Fernandes, Kylian Mbappe, and Granit Xhaka. He's surrounded by other strong players in the midfield, like City's Mateo Kovacic, as well as Marcelo Brozovic, who is now in Saudi Arabia. Josko Vardiol is an absolute standout in the back. It will, of course, be interesting to see how he transitions from playing a progressive left-back position at City to returning to center-back. Right-back Stanisic had a great season at Bayer Leverkusen. Andres Kramaric had 15 goals for Hoffenheim this season. He'll need to do the same for Croatia this tournament, as he led the team with 4 goals in qualifiers. Perisic is now healthy on the other wing. Striker Bruno Petkovic is very Jekyll and Hyde at the position. It's a veteran squad, with the 22-year-old Vardiol being really the youngest player on the squad that will make any sort of impact. The group is extremely tough, but I think Croatia has a little bit in them, with a chance of reaching the quarterfinals, especially in the last hurrah on an international stage for Luka Modric. Number 8, Belgium. As their golden generation begins to wind down, which was oh so evident in their inability to make it out of the group stage at the World Cup, things have started to look better of late, as they were very good during qualification, topping their group with 20 points, winning 6, drawing 2, and losing none. In fact, they haven't lost a match in qualifiers in 40 matches dating back to 2015. Their midfield is loaded. Kevin De Bruyne is healthy and still one of the world's best players. He probably won't be able to give you 90 or more minutes in a match anymore, but when he's on the pitch, he is sensational. He's surrounded in the midfield by the likes of Onana, who had a good season at Everton, Tielemans of Aston Villa, Vermeeren from Atleti, Mangala from Lyon, and Lokanga from Luton Town. Probably one of the deeper midfields in the tournament. In the attack, they have Romelu Lukaku, who is their top scorer in qualifiers, scoring 14 times in 8 matches. He could become a top 3 goal scorer in European Championship history with 2 goals in this tournament. Jeremy Doku from Manchester City will of course cause tons of problems on the wing. Arsenal's Trossard is versatile and isn't a stranger to big goals, and PSV's Johan Bakayoko and Leipzig's Openda will get key minutes as well. The back line is a tad shaky, with the likes of Thiat, Vertonghen, Woutwijs, and Castagna, and with no Thibaut Courtois, Matt Sells likely gets the nod at goal. They should absolutely walk through their group, which includes Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. With an easy group and still a good deal of firepower, I absolutely think Belgium bounces back from the disappointing World Cup and gets to the knockout stage as well as the quarterfinal. Number 7, Netherlands. The Euros being held in Germany is a great thing for the Dutch, as they won the tournament the last time it was held exclusively there in 1988. The Netherlands are trying to build off their quarterfinals appearance in the World Cup, where of course they lost to Argentina. Virgil van Dijk is still the face of the team at center back, and they're absolutely loaded in the back. In my opinion, the best defense in the tournament. They have many options to choose from, with the likes of Mickey van de Ven of Spurs, one of the best center backs in the Premier League after just 1 season, Nathan Ake of Manchester City, Stefan de Vrij of Inter, and the best wingback in the world this past year in Bayer Leverkusen's Jermaine Frimpong. A very good reason for manager Ronald Koeman to go with a back 5. The midfield is also pretty solid, with Barcelona's Frenkie de Jong such a key and a difference maker. You have to hope he's fit. Koop Mainers and De Roon of Atalanta are also very good, as well as Reinders of AC Milan and Schouten of PSV. I expect a quarterfinal quarterfinals finish at the very minimum for this Netherlands side and can even see a run to the semifinals. Number 6, Italy. The Italians are the reigning champs of the Euros, and it's their first major competition since winning it in 2020, of course, after missing the World Cup. There were some struggles in qualifiers, as Italy lost both matches to England, drew once against North Macedonia, and drew once against Ukraine, finishing qualifying at 4-2-2. Out is Mancini as manager, but he's replaced by one of the best managers in the tournament in my opinion, in Spalletti, after his great season with Napoli just a year ago. There's been a lot of changes in both the squad and formations used, going from Mancini's 4-3-3 to Spalletti, who has experimented with lineups of both 3 and 4 in the back. The overall team is very solid. Donnarumma is still a very good goalie, but even though he's the starter, I think Vicario of Spurs is even better. But that's neither here nor there, as they are solid either way in the spot. In the defense, DiMarco, Bastoni, and Acerbi, all of Inter Milan, as well as Di Lorenzo of Napoli, lead the way. To say the least, it is very solid. The midfield is also strong, but very different from what we saw in 2020, with Tonali, Locatelli, and Verratti all not in the squad. Jorginho showed that he still has tons of quality this season for Arsenal. Barella is absolutely world class, and Pellegrini is underrated and a key to Italy's success. In the attack is where they might suffer a bit. Chiesa is coming back from his knee injury. They need the Chiesa of 2020 Euros to be there. Scamacca will get a lot of minutes at striker. He's without Alana now, and moving on from Moyes and West Ham has been good for him. They desperately need him to put the ball in the net. Bologna's Riccardo Orsolini and Napoli's Raspadori will also contribute tons of minutes as well. It's a very tough group with Croatia, Spain, and Albania, but I don't expect this squad to be scored on a lot or go down easily. A quarterfinals run is pretty much the floor, with a chance at the semifinals as well. Number 5, Portugal. After winning the Euros in 2016, 2020 was a bit disappointing, ending in the round of 16 at the hands of Belgium. But after a perfect qualifying run, as the only team to win 10 out of 10 matches, no team scoring more goals than the 36 that they had, and no team conceding less than the 2 than they did, Roberto Martinez has the Portuguese as one of the favorites in the tournament. There's just an absurd amount of attacking talent to choose from up front. Cristiano Ronaldo is still an insane goal scorer, despite being in Saudi Arabia now, along with the likes of AC Milan's Rafael Leao, Man City's Bernardo Silva, PSG's Goncalo Ramos, Liverpool's Diogo Jota, Barcelona's João Felix, Pedro Neto of Wolves, and Conceição of Porto. Behind the front three is a wealth of midfield firepower with Bruno Fernandes of United, João Palhinha of Fulham, and PSG's Vitinha. Porto's Diego Costa is in at goal. He could be pushing for a Premier League move very soon. The defense is strong as well, with the likes of João Cancelo and Nuno Mendes at left back, Ruben Dias, Goncalo Inacio of Sporting, Antonio Silva of Benfica, and the 41-year-old Pepe at center back, Diego Dalot, who was solid for Manchester United this season. It's Portugal's 8th Euros in a row, and they're the only country to reach the knockout stage of the tournament in each of the last 7 editions. It's a pretty easy group for Portugal as well, with the Czech Republic, Georgia, and Turkey as the 3 other teams. I expect them to breeze through the group and can very well see a deep run, possibly to the semifinals. Number 4, Germany. The host nation comes into the tournament with some high expectations, with some even expecting them to win their 4th Euro title, despite not doing so since 1996. The Germans underachieved in the 2020 Euros, exiting in the round of 16, losing 2-0 to England. Julian Nagelsmann comes in as one of the best managers in the tournament after the sacking of Hansi Flick. Germany did not have to qualify for the tournament, but they had a god-awful stretch of friendlies, which in September included a 4-1 loss to Japan, a 2-2 draw against Mexico, a 3-2 loss to Turkey, a 2-0 loss to Austria, and a 0-0 draw against Ukraine. But the talent is there, and some of the key players are in tremendous form. Manuel Neuer is as consistent as it comes between the posts, and at 38 years old, was good for Bayern all season long. The defense has some key pieces, including Antonio Rudiger, who was just a key part of Real Madrid's back line as they won the Champions League, Joshua Kimmich, one of the best right-back holding midfielder combos in the world, as well as Dortmund's Slaughterback and Leverkusen's Tah. In the midfield, Toni Kroos is back out of international retirement for one more run with Germany to give them an emotional boost, as well as one in their midfield, alongside Ilkay Gundogan, who isn't a stranger to big games and big goals, especially during his time at Man City. Up front, on the wings, and at the number 10, they might be as good as anybody in the tournament, with Musiala, Florian Wirtz, and Leroy Sané. Some youth, technical ability, and pace. They should get a lot of goal contributions from this trio. At striker, Kai Havertz is an absolute key for Germany. After a ton of ridicule during his time at Chelsea and his early days at Arsenal, Havertz had a terrific end to the season for the Gunners, finishing the season with 14 goals and 9 assists. Expect Dortmund's Niklas Füllkrug to get some time as well. He had 15 goals and 10 assists on the season. They're in a group that is fairly manageable in my opinion, with the likes of Hungary, Scotland, and Switzerland. I think they win the group, reach the semifinals, and are a sneaky pick to win the tournament, especially with the German fans behind them, as well as a super talented team with a strong manager. Number 3, France. The French are looking to win the competition for a third time after their disappointing round of 16 loss at the hands of Switzerland back in 2020. Didier Deschamps enters his third European Championship as manager, and the talent is almost as high as the expectations. The French ripped through a tough qualifying group that included the Netherlands, Greece, and Ireland, getting 22 out of a possible 24 points, scoring 29 goals, and conceding just 3. Kylian Mbappe might just very well be the best player in the world, and he's joined up front by lots of goal-scoring talent in Antoine Griezmann, Olivier Giroud, Marcus Thuram, Kingsley Coman, and Ousmane Dembele. The midfield is also star-studded with the Real Madrid duo of Camavinga and Tchouaméni, N'Golo Kante, Adrien Rabiot, and Warren Zaire-Emery. Maybe the best mix of experience and youth in the midfield in the entire tournament that gives Deschamps tons of options. They will miss Lucas Hernandez in the back, but they have his brother Theo to go along with a plethora of center-back options, including William Saliba, Ibrahima Konate, Jules Koundé, and Dayot Upamecano. Mike Mignon from AC Milan is in goal as well. France is in a group with Austria, the Netherlands, and Poland. They should 100% win this group and get very far in a tournament that they haven't won since 2000. Number 2. Spain. The Spanish are looking for a record-breaking 4th European Championship trophy, and after their semi-final exit in 2020 at the hands of the eventual winners Italy, many are predicting them to win it all. There's a lot of firepower with Alvaro Morata, Nico Williams, Dani Olmo, Joselu, Lamine Yamal, and Ferran Torres all expecting to contribute up front. Rodri is an utter force in the midfield. The guy just doesn't lose matches. Pedri, Fabian Ruiz, and Fermin Lopez make up a good midfield. Aside from the left back and Alex Grimaldo, after his 12-goal, 19-assist season for Leverkusen, the defense might be a bit lacking with the likes of Marc Cucurella, Nacho, Danny Carvajal, Robin Lenormand, and Aymeric Laporte. The team does have 2 great goalkeeper options in Unai Simon and David Raya. Although their group is tough with Croatia, Italy, and Albania, I think Spain wins the group and will go very far in the competition, and winning it all would not surprise me at all. Number 1. England. After losing to Italy in the 2020 final, England is still looking for their first major tournament trophy since winning the World Cup back in 1966. It's safe to say that it's win the tournament or bust for manager Gareth Southgate, who has the best team he's had heading into a major tournament. When you combine their attack and the midfield, they have the best possible front 6 in the tournament in my opinion, headlined by Harry Kane at striker, who had 44 goals and 12 assists despite a disappointing season for Bayern Munich. He has arguably the best attacking midfielder in the world in Jude Bellingham behind him, who had 23 goals and 11 assists for Real Madrid. Phil Foden is on the left of him. He won the Premier League Player of the Season, and Bukayo Saka is on his right. Declan Rice and Trent Alexander-Arnold will create an amazing double pivot, which will give England a great combination of defending and playmaking. It is, however, a little shaky in the back. England really needs a good and healthy Luke Shaw at left back, and strong tournaments from Kyle Walker, John Stones, and Mark Gahey. And behind the defense is a very solid and underrated Jordan Pickford in goal. England is in a manageable group with Denmark, Serbia, and Slovenia. They should absolutely win the group and advance deep into the tournament, and if we're being honest, they should win and probably need to win this tournament considering the talent they have.